Hey YouTube, Lizzie B here. I don't know why I looked at the camera like that. Anywho, I saw this. Let me pull it up. I'm using my body to block my answer to it, my response, but somebody put hyperfemininity is borderline masculinity. I can't put my finger on it, but it is. And so now let me see if I can unblock myself from what I said. All right. And I responded, this is because femininity is just existing. Masculinity is whatever bells and whistles we assign to that existence. In that sense, if you're very feminine or feminine extreme, you're masculine by default. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. One of the reasons why I talk about masculinity and femininity so much is because of the confusion around it. I feel like there has been so much false information that has been put out about what it means to be masculine, what it means to be feminine, that it's a lot of unlearning that needs to be done. And one of the things that is very hard for people to understand about masculinity and femininity is that it is relative. Relative means that something is defined by its relationship to something else. For example, whether something is taller or not is relative. Whether something is bigger or not is relative. Faster or smarter or just whatever. You know, if you are using, I want to say, is it an adjective? Then usually it is relative. It's a comparative word. So, in this sense, if I were to describe this in terms of masculine and feminine, feminine is kind of like the thing. I always say it's the thing, and masculine is representation of that thing, but it's the thing. Let's say that it's kind of like an onion. An onion cannot be more or less oniony than it's an onion. That is what it is. Masculinity, on the other hand, would be whatever the comparison is when it comes to that onion. So if you paint the onion blue, if the onion is bigger than another onion, if the onion is small, another onion is smaller than another onion. In order for something to be masculine, it must be compared to its feminine, which is it in its most basic form, in its purest form. So I'm not all dolled up and glammed up today, but let's say that I get all dolled up and I get all glammed up and I'm just, I got the high heels on, I'm wearing a ballroom gown and I got lashes and my hair's all done up. That would be a more masculine form of me, believe it or not. It does not matter that I look very feminine. This is me putting on a representation of my gender, which is I'm a woman, which I can go into that even more, but I'm just going to say I'm a woman. And so if I were to be hyper feminine and put on all of the bells and whistles, that would make me look even more like a woman, undeniably a woman. And even that is that's a loaded thing to say, but if I were to do more gender affirming things to make myself look what we historically call feminine, then that's kind of a masculine thing for me to do. That would be me being in my masculine energy. A lot of times I say that masculine energy is kind of like a performance piece. If there is acting involved, if there's theater involved, if you're representing something, and even like being a lawyer might be an example of that. A lawyer represents a client. So if you're representing something or misrepresenting something, that that's the masculine. But again, it's a comparison type of deal because if you're representing something, you need the something that you're representing. And in that sense, everyone contains masculine and feminine. So you being you is you being in your feminine energy. You not doing a thing. You just existing. You are existing at all times in your feminine energy. And then whatever you add to it, whatever bells and whistles you have going on for yourself, whatever outfit you put on for the day, however you represent yourself in the world, the words that you say, how you walk, how you talk, just anything that helps you to represent yourself, that's your masculine. There are some people who are very minimal in how much they represent themselves. They wake up, they throw on a t-shirt, some jeans, whatever, and they go out in the world, but that does not make how they represent themselves any less masculine than somebody. Well, actually, I mean, we can split hairs here and say that, yeah, if you don't do that much, then it's not as masculine as somebody. But either way, again, it's all relative. But if somebody were to go out and like really, really be very over, very extreme, I guess, in the way that they present themselves, then that one can say that is very masculine. Unless you lay rotting in bed, not moving, not doing a thing, you at some point with whatever you do, you're in your masculine energy. If you're doing anything, you are in your masculine energy. Doing is masculine. Being is feminine. I break this down so much, and it's still extremely confusing to a lot of people because there are levels. There are levels. And it's a spectrum. So you can move very easily between masculine and feminine at any given time. And this confuses a lot of people because we have sliced up what it means to be feminine and masculine. We've put it into compartments that have nothing to do with what actual femininity and masculinity actually is. So you have women who are doing so much in terms of like how they look and their appearance, and really, really doing it up big, putting a lot of energy and effort into how they represent themselves. And they are very much in their masculine energy. And we are assigning hyper-femininity to these women. And wrongfully so. Wrongfully so. And then on the other side of that, you have men who are going the extra mile to prove how masculine they are by proving that they don't care about looks and they're just going to be themselves. And that's very much feminine energy. Ultimately, if everybody knew what the energies were, they would understand that there's no way to separate the two in the first place. We are all a mixture, an amalgamation of both. And to try to divide ourselves into one thing or the other is to kind of like deny the existence of a parent. It's like saying, oh, I don't have a dad, I'm feminine. And it's like, no, that man is in you. He is a part of who you are. And that woman that birthed you, she's a part of who you are as well. 50% of you or more, who knows? So it's just at the end of the day, we are all a mixture of masculine and feminine. And so much so that we're a number of other genders, if you want to even call it that. It's all very complex, but at the end of the day, masculinity and femininity work so much together that it's practically impossible to be one without the other. And if you are in your feminine energy and in turbo mode, then you're really just in your masculine energy. Does not matter how long your eyelashes are or how large your rear end is. This is also why I know nowadays a lot of men complain about women wearing so much makeup and that kind of thing, because it's hard for them to be able to tell the difference between a woman and a man who's cross-dressing because all of that makeup, that's all very masculine. It is a performance. So, there's nothing wrong with it, but ultimately that's what it is. So this was just a quick lesson in masculine, feminine, and I talk a lot about this on my TikTok. You don't have to follow me there. I'll probably be talking more about this here. And that's it. That's all I have for today. So thanks for watching and enjoy your day. Bye-bye. Oh, and subscribe, like, comment, all that, share, do all the things.